What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the conversation. It's Patrick at YGO Podcast. I've got another deck profile for you guys, something that keeps popping up and something that I've been playing with and having a lot of fun with. It's not necessarily a meta contender. It can be. It can be probably a decent rogue option. We've got a lot of rogue this format. But I'm thinking that this deck right here might be something that can have potential to be expanded upon at a later time with a little bit more support. So if you haven't noticed, today we're talking about Springans. And Springans are an archetype of machine monsters that come with quite a few broken spell cards. And now, and recently, a recent print of Gigantic Champion Sargus, they've got their own boss monster for the deck now as well. So without further ado, if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and please subscribe. We're on our way to hit 500. We're sitting at like 309 subs. Thank you guys for coming back. If you are not new to the channel, let's go ahead and get on into the profile. So right now, we're going to be running just a couple of different cards. So we're going to be running one Springan's Captain Sargus. It's going to be kind of your boss monster. You pretty much put him out on the field when you have another XYZ. He's a face-up pop whenever you control an Xyz monster. You can detach a material from it, pop a card on the field. And then you're going to be running two Springans Branga. The Brangas are going to be kind of more for your, going to be kind of more for you to like search out certain things. They're going to banish themselves from the grave. They're not really meant for you to Xyz with. They're just kind of there to help you facilitate some combo and searching options. Then you're going to be running three Springans Rocky. And Rocky is going to be your he's going to be your XYZ material for sure. He attaches himself onto a face-up XYZ monster. Helps you facilitate keeping those XYZs with materials, keeping them loaded up. Then you're going to be playing three Springans Kit. And I've seen this played at 2. I've seen it played at 3. I've seen people play it at 1. I think if you're going to play a consistent Springans deck, you're going to want to play that card at 3. Then what you're going to do is you're going to play two Springans Brothers. Now, Brothers, 2 is a consistent number for this specific monster. A lot of times its effect needs to happen after it's been sent from the deck to the grave, which is pretty good. I mean, it's not good enough necessarily to play 3 of, but it's definitely good enough to play 2 of. Then you're going to be playing one Regulus. So Regulus is going to help you kind of facilitate an extra Omni Negate. Everything's machine in the deck for the most part. So you're going to play a machine monster that helps equipped on other machines and gives you an extra form of negate, especially going first. Then your last card you're going to be playing is you're going to be playing one Cyberstein, okay? And Cyberstein is just a cheat out some extra deck monsters. You'll see as we go along that we've got some extra deck monsters in the deck that are usable, and you'll see as we go along. So then you're going to be playing 3 Great Sandsea Golgonda. So this is the field spell for the deck. The field spell kind of helps you cheat out your XYZ monsters. So essentially by discarding one card from your hand, you can special summon an XYZ monster or Springan XYZ. And then of course your Gigantic Champion Sargus. He overlays on a Springan XYZ, and then of course you've got all your XYZ monsters pretty much, you know, with Rocky and Brothers, they will attach themselves to an XYZ to help keep that XYZ with material. Then you're going to be running 3 Springans Watch. Springans Watch is pretty broken. It's kind of like a Rhoda, and then it's kind of like a Rhoda and a Terraforming all in one. If you don't control your Great Sandsea Golgonda, what it does is you can search it out with the Springans Watch, and if you do control Great Sandsea Golgonda, you can search out a Springans card, pretty decent. Then you're going to be running 3 Tally Ho. Tally Ho is pretty much, and I mean, I'm sure if you've seen other deck profiles where they'll mention Tally Ho. It's pretty much like a soul charge. Essentially, you soul charge all your Springans in the graveyard back, and then you can XYZ with them. You can XYZ with them. And then this is probably debatable. I've seen this number at quite a few different ones, but I run 3 Sprite Smashers because if you're going to run Emergency Teleport, you're not going to run just one. You're going to run 3 of them. And banishing 1 card from your graveyard or from your hand or whatever from the field, that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is making sure that I can have access to my monsters to make XYZ plays as necessary. Then you're going to be running 2 Springans Booty. 2 Springans Booty is pretty much self-explanatory. It is a decent card that you're going to use. And then I run 1 Decisive Battle of Golconda, and this is kind of like your generalized searching. It kind of treats itself as the field spell, so that therefore you can activate certain effects. Like if you got a Springan's Watch, you can go ahead and rota your cards and things like that. Then we're going to finally go for the last spell. We're going to be running 1 Branded in High Spirits. Sorry about the glare there. That's where my light is. And then we're going to top it off with 1 Springan's Blast. So that's going to be pretty much your whole Springan's core, besides the fact that you're running a Therion and a Cyberstein. So let's go ahead and get into some of the other support cards that are within the deck. All right. So some of the other support cards we're going to be running is going to be, once you see this card, you already know that we have to run kind of a myriad of hand traps in order to use this card. You're going to be running 3 Crossout Designator. For the hand traps I selected, and you can select pretty much whatever hand traps that you feel is necessary. I'm running 2 Nibiru, 2 Ash Blossom, and 2 Infinite Impermanence, and then 1 Call By. So these are going to be kind of the cards that are going to be the most hurtful towards the deck. This deck, I'm just going to be honest with you, it just loses to Nibiru, so make sure that you have to Nibiru-proof your combos. And also having a Crossout in your hand will help Nibiru from taking shape within the game. So whatever game state you may be in, so just make sure that you have something that protects yourself against Nibiru, and that'll be probably your most profitable, I would say, as far as going forward with any strategies. But any of these are interchangeable. Droll and Lockbird, I know, is a pretty important card that's going to be coming out, or not coming out, but just being used. I see some kind of resurgence for Droll and Lockbird. So by all means, if Imperm is not something that you're afraid of, which I don't recommend you should be, use Droll and Lockbird. If you want to take out that Called by the Grave for something else, go ahead and do that as well. All right, so that's it for pretty much the main deck. Let's go ahead and get into the extra deck. All right, so we're going to be running 2 of your Therion, or your Gigantic Champion Sargus. So Sargus, he's pretty much, he's a searcher. You can attach a material to search. Also, he pops a card on the field. He can overlay for free on top of a Spriggan's XYZ monster. He's pretty awesome. You know, he's pretty awesome, and I really don't think that you can run the Spriggan's strategy without him. So he's a very essential part of the strategy. So you're going to be running one Spriggan Exoblower. So Exoblower essentially, it kind of has a strangely worded effect, but I'll try to make it make sense. Essentially, you can target one empty zone, right? So let's say this zone, for example. You can target this zone. And what he'll do is he can destroy 1 card to the adjacent to that zone and 1 card in a vertical space to that zone. So if you select a zone like this, then it would destroy this card here and then this card here. So that's essentially what he does. He also has another effect with banishing cards that I'm not... and let me go ahead and just read that really fast. So it basically says that during your opponent's main or battle phase, quick effect, you can banish this card until the end phase, right? So he can also kind of skirt by and get past your opponent's retaliation. So he's kind of an annoying card to get around. Not a lot of attack, but definitely a lot of effect, right? And then we're going to be running the most important XYZ monster that's in our deck, and that's going to be Merrymaker. And I've seen people run 2. I think 3 is probably the best number just because we've got cards that are ripping cards out of extra decks. And then not only that, Merrymaker is very, very, very important to the strategy. You need a Merrymaker in your extra deck in order to seize upon, in order for your combos to get started. So in order for you to start building your board, you need Merrymaker. If you have 2 or you only have 1 in your extra deck, then it really makes it hard to build what you need to build throughout the deck. Then you're going to be running 1 Gear Gigant X, and this is pretty much the same thing. It's just searching out a level 4 machine type monster. That's really nothing. Gear Gigant has been a OG in machine strategies for a long time. Then we've got Gallic Granite. Gallic Granite, we are running. There are some strategies that do run Fossil Dyna. I am not running that strategy currently in this deck. However, the side deck is always an option. So whenever you're watching my deck profile videos, just remember that I don't show the side deck because that is up to your interpretation. Me showing a side deck is not going to help you become, build your deck better. It's best if you build your deck the way that you prefer it. This is just to give you an idea or foundation of my choices, and you can expand upon at any point in time, right? And then with running all these XYZ monsters, you're going to need to run a Zeus for sure. So that's going to be it for all the XYZ monsters, but let's keep on going, right? So I think that running IP Masquerena in this strategy is pretty decent, and I'll show you why here in just a minute. Platinum Gadget as well is something that is pretty interesting. Helps you search out some more of your machine type monsters. Everything you run is machine, so it's pretty homogeneous to the strategy. Then you're going to run 1 Cleafort Genius. And then, of course, when you're running IP, it's best to run Underworld Goddess, and that helps you have a little bit more interaction on your opponent's turn, essentially with monster interaction. Then for the Springans cards, you're going to be running 1 Iron Dash. And Iron Dash, essentially, you just kind of send it from the extra deck to the graveyard to search out your Springans cards. That's what really Iron Dash is for. And then you're going to run 1 Naturia Exterio. And Naturia Exterio is going to be cheated out by Cyberstein. So you're going to be paying, what is it, like 5,000 life points for this card. But this card is so incredibly broken that your opponent should not be able to ever come back from this card being out on the field. Not only is it big with 2,800 attack, but it negates spells and traps, so evenly matched. Oh my goodness. Pretty much lightning storms, anything that you can think of besides cards like Dark Ruler and Droplet, this card can negate. So it's pretty interesting to see in a strategy, especially a machine strategy, but Naturia Exterio is one of the best cards. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching this deck profile. Sorry this one took a couple of more days to get prepped, but I've got quite a few more deck profiles coming in the future, like always, and I hope you guys stay tuned for the next one. And that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe to this video, and join us at the next conversation, guys. Peace.